Well, you join me up here at the plot on a grey, miserly day. I'm up here to pull onions. As you can see, most are flopped over. The bed is full of weeds. These guys are ready to come out. And amongst this lot is the winner of the Big Onion Challenge, maybe. One of those 3 or 4, I reckon. Anyhow, let's pull these bad boys out, get them drying, and pick a big one. So that's 18 smallish onions, all cut and peeled back. I follow the Ian Nocton method when it comes to just trimming the tops and peeling back the dead outer layers of the onion. I think it's mainly for cosmetic reasons. Also, it might help these onions dry out a little quicker. So there we have 18 small ones. And 3 garlic bulbs that I've got to take home. Anyhow, let's go look at the last 4, which are pretty beefy. Okay then, these are my 4 candidates for the Big Onion Challenge. I think I'm going to settle on these 2. I don't have any scales at home, so this challenge isn't by weight as far as I'm concerned. It's by the circumference of the actual onion itself. What I'm going to do is measure the circumference of each of these. I don't have a tape measure with me up at the allotment at the moment, but I'll get round that little problem in a second, and then I'll put the measurement of the biggest up on the screen somewhere, and for those of you that did enter the competition, that will be the measurement that you guys have to beat. You'll notice when measuring the girth of these onions, misses, that I haven't peeled them like I did the other onions. For obvious reasons, I want every layer of skin to count. So there we go. What I've done is cut a piece of string, wrapped it around until both ends touch, and when I get home I'll measure the length of this string and put the measurement somewhere in the screen here. So that's the first one done. I'll use the same piece of string because I think this is a slightly smaller onion. I reckon the winner is going to be that first one. Yeah, you can see the string overlaps by quite a way. So you should be getting the measurement in inches somewhere on the screen right now. Okay, that's what you've got to beat, people. Let's have a little chat about allotment bureaucracy and the rules on your allotment site. This little incinerator got me into so much trouble a couple of days ago. Now then, I needed to burn some rubbish, some old bits of wood, some weeds and some general crap that I collected over the last 6 months on the plot. I decided to chuck it all in here and get a small fire going in the incinerator. Within about 5 minutes, one of my, I wouldn't say neighbouring plot holders, but it was actually the allotment secretary, came down and said, could I extinguish the fire, as they are not allowed during certain times of the year, which I find quite ridiculous, especially during the summer when you're digging up loads of weeds and making repairs and just collecting general crap. It was a fairly calm day. The nearest house is over there, and there is a house just beyond those trees. Where am I? There. But this is, other than those two houses, this is a fairly rural location. So it did create a little bit of smoke, I'm not going to lie. And it did drift off in that direction, so I guess towards that corner house there. But I reckon by the time it would have gotten to it, it would have mainly dispersed. But yeah, I was told in no uncertain terms to put it out, as we're not allowed to have them until I think October. Anyhow, I'd really like to know your views on that. Do you agree? Because I don't. I think I should be able to burn the rubbish that I have accumulating on the plot throughout the year. So yeah, let me know in the comment section down below whether you have the same rule, whether it's a common rule across most allotment sites, and whether you disagree or agree with me. Look at who's woken up and decided to say hello. It's my tree lily. Two big showy flowers. I think the plant over time grows to 6 foot. Obviously it won't do it in the first season, but in the next couple of years hopefully it will be this tall. Anyhow, while I'm here, just give you a quick rundown on the flowers. Some glads that are dying back here. The dahlia down the bottom end of the plot here is starting to flower. The cosmos has gone wild. I mean, it was flowering a couple of weeks ago, but for some reason it's really kicked on. The sweet peas are waking up too. Such a strong scent from a little delicate flower like that. But let me show you something which is outperforming everything on my plot. Just bear with me, you're not going to be disappointed. Look at my neighbour's dahlia show. Look at how fantastic that bed is. Chock full of colour. The story goes that these bulbs were up for grabs. The person didn't want them and was going to chuck them out. So my neighbour took them and planted them in this bed here, and it's produced a cracking show, I've got to say. Extremely jealous. But it is very lovely to look at. And while I'm at it, why don't I show you something else which I find of interest, which is not on my plot again. Just bear with me. Just got to walk down the centre track on the allotment site. We're coming up to it now. Spin the camera around. Can you get that? Out there is a puffball growing on one of the neighbouring plot site, and another there. I think they're amazing. Look at that. I'll leave it be. Well, I've done all I needed to do up at the plot today. I've pulled the onions, skinned them alive, and that's about it. I've got the measurement for my contender for the Big Onion Challenge, so if you have entered the competition, that's the measurement to beat. Remember, the Monster Beetroot Challenge should be up and running. We're going to pull those on Halloween, And that's it. Right, so if you've liked this video today, remember to hit that like button. Please do share, because it'll help the channel grow. I'd really appreciate that. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe. But ultimately, please do comment down below, because I love reading everybody's comments. Okay, until the next video, bye for now.